What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hope we're all doing really well. Hope you all looked at the last video for those extra few wins, and this time around I'm going to show you a formation that we've done before with a few minor tweaks that I'm currently using at the minute to kind of beat the press, beat the high block, and also to try and nullify that freaking 4-3-2-1 without having to use it myself. So yeah, let me jump straight into this, guys, and it's gone really well, if I do say so myself, with this formation. Now it is the 4-1-2-1-2-2, so it's the narrower formation. We've gone balance 50, 67 balance, direct passing 45, 7, 3 and 1. Now please watch the gameplay, because it's going to make a lot of sense in how this plays, because I'm going to show you highlights of 2 different games, possibly 3 different games, depending on if the third one is any good or not, to show you guys. And you're going to see that I come up against the 4-3-2-1 twice, and they're using the press after possession loss. You can tell that because the way the players run towards you. So it's very backwards and forwards, box to box, pinball football, that type of behaviour, until you get yourself a 1 or 2 goal advantage, and then it starts to slow down, and then you can really see how this 4-1-2-1-2 comes into its own. But it does work very well against the 4-3-2-1 and the high press and the high block. So please watch the gameplay, and then we'll come back and we'll do the instructions as always. And just really quickly, thank you for all the subscribers, thank you for all the new subscribers, but please keep sharing these videos. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Anyway, let's jump into the gameplay. So I thought I'd just throw this game out there. You can see bottom left-hand corner, we transition immediately to that 4-1-2-1-2, as we always do if we have a slot we want to use. As I've previously stated, it takes around about 7 seconds for it to kick in, hence why we go backwards and forwards before we go forwards. And then, yeah, from here, nice ball through to Ronaldo, and then this volley is weird, but nonetheless, it's a goal. And that's our first game, and that's our first win. And like I say, it's more or less a kick-off goal, so I'm not a toxic player. I don't play like that. Even if I'm 1-0 up in the 90th minute, I won't play it around. I play the game as it's supposed to be played. Like I say, I'm not toxic. I just like to play the game for fun, so that's what I like to do. So yeah, we move on to the second game. You can see Mbappe there gets a nice little left foot goal. Again, we're using the 4-1-2-1-2 formation, as I said. This time around, we're playing against a 4-3-2-1, and we're playing against a guy that has the 95 Pele, the 93 Stanway. Some really good players. Matches my team quite well. So you can see here that, as you can see, we're 1-0 up. I'm not sure if this is a penalty or even a red card, but apparently it is, so we lose Desailly at this point, and we concede a goal for a penalty and lose a man. So yeah, obviously you don't want to play with 10 men, don't want to quit the game, so we just make an alteration. We put Rice at centre back, and then we move the red card into the cam position, because the cam position, you can lose the cam position because you've still got your 2 strikers, or you can even use it, or you could even lose a striker, but I prefer it this way. So again, not changing my gameplay, not changing my style. We're 1-1, we've got nothing to lose. Again, let's stretch this guy out. That's what this formation does with the left back and right back. Instead of going forward quickly, you have to kind of play it back, move some players, move him around the pitch. Then we do get Odegaard run through the middle, and then a nice left foot finesse. I suppose going a man down, you can actually see the spaces that this formation creates, and you can see now we're defending in a 4-3-2, which isn't too bad, because the 3 centre mids in this formation, because I have them on cover wing, they're quite spread apart. So whereas if the 4-3-2-1, for example, the 3 CMs are quite close together, you can see we've got 5 players tracking his 3 strikers. And that is what I like about this formation. So the good thing about it is, if you rewind and you go back, you can actually see in defence it's a 4-4-2, in attack it's a 4-1-2-1-2. And that, like here, for example, we've got 3 defenders, we've got the DM, because obviously I sent one of the fullbacks on a run, but suddenly they're getting back, and we're closing the gaps down. You can see there was very little gap in the pocket between our midfield and our defence. We make some stupid decisions with the passing here, but luckily enough we recover it with the defence. But yeah, I mean, I'm not. I've said it many times before. I'm not a pro. I do make mistakes as well, especially when I'm trying to close out games. I make a lot of stupid mistakes. You can see we're getting chances. We're not restricted. We're not being pushed back. We're not being overrun. There's a few instances, I don't know if you guys have noticed it as well, since Tots has kicked in, where the gameplay is a little bit strange, and you go in for a tackle and you seem to jump over the top of the ball. Now that's happened a lot with me, so I'm having to rewire my brain essentially in how I tackle players now, because I don't know if it's a bug, if it's a connection thing, or what the hell that is, or if it's just a server issue. But it was really weird. There's some really weird gameplay. On Thursday, I think it was, when I was doing the Season 6 lounge stuff, the servers were great, it was brilliant, and then Friday evening, boom, it was just really, everything started going really strange. So, I'm not going to keep complaining about it too much, but because it is what it is with EA Sports. I don't think it's ever been any different when it comes to Tots and things. They just don't have the server capacity, or so they say. Anyway, I'm going to stop giving them any airtime. So, yeah, you can. The good thing about this is because I'm showing you it as it is live, if in effect, you can actually see what I'm doing when I'm hitting the offside trap. You can see two strikers are staying forward. Effectively, I'm defending with 7 players. I'm trying to hit this guy on the counter attack now, but the more I can keep him away from shooting, the less chance he has of coming back and scoring goals. And then because he's going to overcommit at this point in time, because he knows I've got 10 men, that is the beauty of this. A lot of people overcommit, and therefore that was such a lucky goal. Therefore, you can kind of hit them on the break without changing. Now, normally, if this was a weekend league game, I would probably switch to a more defensive formation right here, right now. But because it's because it's a rivals game, I kind of get away with it, and that's exactly what I do. I just leave it as it is. Now, I think I've had enough with Rice being in my defence. He doesn't cut it as a defender for me. So yeah, we're just jumping. We changed Rice over. We obviously have to take off Eusebio, which is unfortunate, but we put Rice back in his right position, and then we get a defender on the pitch, which is better. And obviously, defender like Van Dijk is the type of player that you want. We do concede chances. I'm not going to lie. I can't sit there and say to you guys, you're not going to concede, because you are going to concede goals. You can see that I conceded first, but then I hit back. It happens. I've seen a lot of people turn around and say, "Oh yeah, you can go with this formation, you can run this tactics, and you'll never concede." No, you will concede, because that's the way the game is designed. You have to remember that, guys. The game is designed to be more arcadey than simulation, and that is the truth. You talk to any of the pros and things like that. That is pretty much it. It's very arcadey, which is why you get the whole. If you have the ball with your defenders, for example, and you want to keep possession, you have to keep hold of that ball at the player's feet. You can't spread the play. You can't pass it around like you would, like say, like a City or somebody like that, because it doesn't work. They close you down. They're in your face. You can't do anything about it. So therefore, you're very limited in terms of possession-based game style. So you have to, you have to just get as many goals as you can, concede very little, and then you'll get the wins. 100% you'll get the wins. And like I said, if you've watched my previous video on the 4-2-4, that is my starting formation. I start with the 4-2-4, and then I will move to this formation, or I'll move to a 4-2-3-1. I'm trying to avoid playing with the 4-3-2-1, if I'm honest. Doesn't really suit my play style, and it's quite boring. So we concede late on, 90th minute. Not an issue, it's 90th minute. Now we can hold on, whistle goes, full time, job done. So yeah, let me know what you think to this one, because we're going to jump into the instructions right now. But the difference between this 4-1-2-1-2 and my previous 4-1-2-1-2s and the 4-3-2-1s, for example, is the 4-3-2-1 is, you can imagine it's very similar, with the fact that the cam is sitting slightly deeper, so you've got this diamond in midfield. But Ultimately, the width comes from your left back and right back. So this is why we have them on overlap and balance, because if you have them on stay back while attacking, you've got no width and you're too narrow, and the 4-3-2-1 will do you all the time because they have that one left back or right back on bomb forward and one stay back. You're always going to be kind of outnumbered in the wing department. So this is why we have these set the way they are. And obviously with the TOTS players you've got now and the other players like Lizzie Razoo and what's her name, Scott, Walker, players like this, we've all got these available to us now. So these have the recovery runs to actually make this work a little bit better than before. So the DM is, as you'd expect, balanced defence, stay back while attacking, cover centre. Do not have him on, cut passing lanes. There's no point. It makes no difference. They're going to do that naturally anyway, so just leave that on balance. Now the two CMs are on balanced and cover wing. Both of them are on cover wing and balanced because obviously I'm asking my cam to come back on defence and get in the box for crosses. So if we have, Havertz, for example, LM, Rice CM, Anthony drops down to CM, Odegaard moves out because he's cover wing, goes to the right. We're defending in a 4-4-2, so I hope that kind of makes sense why I've set that up. Doesn't really work on old gen guys, sorry. For some reason it doesn't work. It's really stupid, I know, but it doesn't really have the same effect, unfortunately. So you might as well just have him on balanced if you're going to use this on old gen. And the two strikers, balanced width, getting behind and stay forward. Again, you want them to move across the line. You don't want them to be restricted. You can see by my gameplay, guys, that even when you're down to 10 men with this crazy good formation, you can still get your goals. And, yes, I made some alterations. You could see it in the gameplay, the alterations I made. They do make a slight difference in terms of, you're not really losing much. However, if you're 1-1 and you go down to 10 men, you really do need to get a goal because there's no way you're playing this game out to penalties. It's impossible. You can't hold possession that long enough to do that. So, yeah, if you haven't, go back and watch the gameplay for that 10-man win. You'll kind of see the alterations I make, and you'll see that I don't deviate from this formation. I stick to this formation regardless, and we get our wins. And the gameplay I've showed you is all high in rivals. Yes, we're creeping back up to elite. So we're still playing players of our level. Previous elite players and stuff like that. So this is still a viable formation. It's also one to bear in mind. So if you go back to Monday night's video, look at the 4-2-4, look at this video, there's two instances right there where you can put them in your slots for TOTS that can help you out in any different scenario. And ultimately that is what we're going for. So hit that like button if you like what you see. Comment, let me know what you think to the 4-1-2-1-2, guys. Don't see it that often, is there a reason for that, or are just people just so used to now the 4-3-2-1 and that is it? Let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, everybody, take care.